So let's pick up where we left off in our previous video. We were talking about boundaries and why it's hard for you to say no sometimes. So you hear yourself say yes to a request or an imposition while every part of your body is screaming, I don't want to. You feel off, your stomach sinks, maybe your jaw tightens. That bubbling up of frustration is your anger. That anger is a quiet inner voice that's saying, this doesn't feel good. But because anger also feels dangerous, you push it down, you bury it along with all the little bits of anger, frustration, irritation, and resentment that you've felt throughout your life. You were probably raised believing that anger is a negative emotion that needs to be controlled. But what if your anger is not wrong? What if your anger is rooted in your power? What? Anger and power? No, that can't be right. As a woman, it's not okay to be angry, right? You don't want to be called the B word that women get when they show their anger. No. Nice women, good girls don't get angry. Spiritual women don't get angry. Loving women don't get angry. They don't. Here's what happens. We push it down. We act polite. We get so disconnected from our anger that we don't even realize that we're angry. So all of that buried anger and frustration builds up into a slow simmering pot of resentments and rage. And this is not just a woman's issue, right? We can agree that humanity has an anger problem and it has a lot to do with that simmering pot. And we're going to talk about that in the next video. But let's come back to you. That frustration you feel, that anger, is information. Anger is a messenger telling you something here's not okay. Anger is the very healthy emotion that tells you a boundary is being crossed. Someone has stepped over your needs, your rights, or your values, or maybe somebody else's rights and you're witnessing it. So that spark you feel, that heat, that energy rising, that's your inner being moving towards action. And it's not the action of revenge or to go attack another. The proper action that anger wants to take is to restore the boundary. Anger is a messenger, an action taker that says something here needs to be corrected and set right again. So anger is your doorway to your inner warrior, but not the warrior that wages war. It's the warrior that stands strong, the sentinel, the bouncer at the door that says, you shall not pass. That anger is your inner strength to say, no, this is not okay. This doesn't work for me. My needs matter. But the enormous challenge is that you never saw it done in healthy ways. You were never allowed to express your anger. So what do? You become a pressure cooker. Years of trampled boundaries, swallowed resentments, and unspoken needs. So the pressure has to go somewhere, and eventually, boom. Sometimes it explodes onto the people you love most. Other times you vent it out as road rage, or you project it onto the wrong thing or onto other people. They're the ones who are angry. But most commonly, it quietly simmers inside your body, all of that swallowed anger and rage. And it shows up as a whole host of health issues like jaw problems or gallbladder problems or arthritis, or the rage simmers quietly into tumors. The answer isn't getting rid of your anger. You can't get rid of your anger, just as you should never get rid of your smoke detector. No, you have to listen to your anger. You have to feel it and listen so that you can take action rather than building up the pressure cooker of swallowed resentments. Because healthy anger creates healthy boundaries, and healthy boundaries create healthy relationships. That is the way of the sovereign woman. In the next video, we're going to zoom out and we're going to talk about the collective anger, because we can all agree that anger is not a woman's issue. But the problem that humanity has with anger is not the one you might think. And so I can't wait to talk about it more with you in the next video. And if you're really ready to dive deep into a conversation about anger, and how to have a healthy relationship with your anger. Because it's one thing to hear these concepts. Anger's not wrong, anger's connected to your power, et cetera, et cetera. But putting it into action, that's another thing entirely. And there's a way to do it. So, what do you do with all that built up resentment? What do you do with all the anger? How do you channel it? How do you express it in healthy ways as opposed to chopping someone's head off? If you're ready for that, join my free talk coming up in a couple weeks, The Power of Anger. I can't wait to have you join me.